Good morning. Good morning. Um, Good morning, fellow humans. Today is Thursday, December 19th, 2024. This month is really flying by fast. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. Here we are in southwestern Nevada, east of Death Valley and west of Sin City, Pahrump, Kentucky. Area 51 territory, George Bell, Art Nori land. Spooky things, spooky things. But here we are to help our students and other interested people on their journey through this life. And so Monday through Friday, we are here at the Department of Career Services, where we want to focus on the physical, mental, and emotional tools that you need to be more successful in life. And our goal is simple: to answer two questions. Our goal, I should say, in our 4-week neuroscience approach to success program, this is day 4 of week 3, we have a simple goal in that program. Who am I? Why do I behave the way I do? And the idea is, if I know who I am, and I know why I behave the way I do, I have the ability to better control it, to dial in who I need to be right now. And if I know how to be who I need to be right now, I will be more successful. Buenos dias, what not a bevy? What a bevy, buenos dias. Hope all is well in Fort Jacks. Tell me about it. Okay, so we're here to help on this journey through life, preparation for what comes next. Do not believe the evidence is a little bit more compelling that we have transcendent souls. What's happening now with near-death experiences or real experiences after death, REDS, is pretty compelling. And this information is coming out more because people are being resuscitated more than in the past because we have better technology. So more and more people after being resuscitated are saying, here's what just happened. And the scientists, the doctors are saying, well, that couldn't have happened because you had no brain activity. You had a flat EKG or whatever, no neural activity. Well, this is what happened. And so the evidence is getting more like, there is something. And then when you have University of Virginia and NYU doing studies about these experiences that people had after they were dead, there's some evidence. So what if it happens to be true that we do have a transcendent soul? Would that make your life any different? Especially if it was, we have a transcendent soul, and what happens next is related to what happened now. So if you go down this path now, you continue down that path next. If you go down this path, you go that way. So our purpose during the week is to focus on the physical, mental, and emotional. We have a worksheet attached on LinkedIn, on Facebook, our webpage, all of those places where the experts talk about physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. But physical, mental, and emotional things you can do to get better, be more successful in this life. It has nothing to do with what happens next. In this life, be physically fit, physical fitness and health, eat right, work out. How can you do that? Well, David Goggins tells you, former Navy SEAL, ultra athlete. Happiness can be another physical thing. Mental, always be learning. ABC. A, always be. B, C, learning. Always be learning. Emotional. If you can't control your emotions, don't worry. Someone else will, and they'll probably take you out of the game. Unless you're Forrest Gump, right? Because he let other people, well, more or less control his behavior. But anyway, if you can't control your emotions, don't worry. Someone else will and they'll probably take you out of the game. So you can go to virtually everybody in jail, in prison. They made an emotional decision because they weren't thinking rationally, logically, clearly, etc. Okay, so, and then weekends is the spiritual side. But here we are, and our meme of today, the theme of today is just say no. And that's based on Darren Hardy's talk this morning. Link down below. And while you're down there, push the like, share, bell, you know the thing. All right, so how are things in Fort Jacks? What not a bevy? Okay, just say no. But before that, advice from an 80-year-old. Become the most positive and enthusiastic person you know. How about that? Become the most positive and enthusiastic person you know. Blessed. Okay, good. I agree. Become the most positive and enthusiastic person you know. So yesterday we had the wraparound event, and overall, I thought it went great. I thought it went great. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 sheets. Looks like there might have been about 40 people. And I'll be making copies of these, but so it seemed like it was about as good. We had some good, better vendors there. Progress, except, you put a drop of tar in a quart of honey, it's going to affect the honey. So we had that yesterday. We had something happen. Some people got a little bit too enthusiastic in the wrong direction. And of course, the people who don't like it, just human nature, the people who don't like the thing, that's what they accentuate. And when the ripple effect is when it ripples back, is what you hear is the one thing that some people personally didn't like, but it was not offensive, but duly noted, shouldn't have happened, should not have happened, was not intended to happen, but it's the kind of thing that happens when you have a whole bunch of people standing around waiting to see what's going to happen and not helping, right? So a bunch of people are sitting there saying, well, I'm going to go and see what happens. And they're just waiting for the negative. Oh, yeah, that was good, but forget about, yeah. Oh, there's the one thing. That's the thing I'm going to talk about. And of course, when it's happening, they don't say anything in real time. And there could be good reasons they don't. But you don't say anything in real time. And so a bunch of people are sitting back waiting to see what's going to happen. And a couple people are trying to make things happen, but they don't see what's happening over there. So they don't notice what's happening and glance over. It doesn't look like there's any big deal, but somebody over here doesn't like it and feels, could be probably not the time to say something. So they don't, but when it ricochets back from a third, fourth, fifth person, generation of person, not 5 people, but when that one comes back, it's like, okay, here's the event. This one bad thing happened. Ugh. Yeah, this was good, but it's supposed to be good. One bad. So anyway, so that's kind of a punch in the gut, but it shouldn't have happened. Should not have happened. Won't happen again. Lesson learned. Easy fix. If it had been brought to my attention while it was happening, it would have been at that point. Stopped at that point. But for whatever reason, it wasn't. And so now the message is be positive and enthusiastic. In other words, let's focus on the donut, not the donut hole, right? Good morning, Matticus von Atticus. Guten Tag. Yes, okay. So now I have to do an after action report. And then there was one other thing that happened that I didn't know was going to happen. And that ricocheted back as, what are we doing here? I thought this was for homeless people. How come there were non-homeless people there? Is this going to become a non-homeless thing? No, it's going to become a homeless thing. But I didn't know these people were here from this church, and they wanted to send people from their church because they could be very helpful, but they wanted to experience the event. So they sent 4 people in. And of course, the people at the door thinking, hey, this is a homeless event. Why are we letting non-homeless religious people in here? What is this going to be, a religious event now? No, it's not going to be a religious event. So again, I didn't know. Somebody from Love Thy Neighbor wanted to do a good thing, bring in another church, because that's what Love Thy Neighbor is trying to do, bring in, get all of the churches to help. So a church sent 4 people. And last minute, and to me, it was a good idea. It wasn't until after the event when it was brought up to me, why are we letting non-homeless people in? It was only after, why are we letting non-homeless people in? Well, these were here from a church wanting to experience it to see how they could help. Okay, but no, I didn't know. So once again, same type of thing. When people are sitting back waiting for something negative and anything that's good, it's like, well, yeah, it's supposed to be good. Anything that's negative isn't really brought up as a, see what they're doing. It's like, what are we doing here? And then you have the compound effect, right? 2 things that were, again, we pulled it off. We had more people. It was good, positive, upbeat, rah, rah, rah. And so, good. That's good, Matt. Good. VFW. Okay, but let's get to our point, our theme. The theme is just say no. Just say no. But before that, let's see what Seth Godin has to talk about. Ideas need handles. The thing about subject lines. And once again, it's a really, really long one, so I can't read it, but it's going to be, there's a link attached below. A bureaucracy recently asked me to submit a few documents. They were very specific, and the person on the phone said that the subject line of the email I sent should be blank. That was really unsettling, almost like taking the labels off bottles at the supermarket. My email software didn't even want to let me send it. Sumerians created millions of clay tablets but never managed to invent the subject line. As a result, the only way to know what's on the tablet is to read the whole thing. And a restaurant menu evolved to be the subject lines for the foods we're about to eat. Centuries later, SEO became an arcane art designed to create a subject line for a website. YouTube is filled with link bait, with subject lines labeling videos, creating the expectations of the best video you've ever seen, followed by the inevitable disappointment once you've invested a minute or two. The race for attention has relentlessly reduced the trust we put into subject lines because they're easy and tempting to gain. Books have had titles since Gutenberg. The title, of course, is nothing but a subject line. That, together with the genre it's filled in, gives us a set of expectations for what the book will deliver. I've been to bookstores with a shelf labeled famous authors. Would like to know what to expect. We care about genre and provenance and guard our attention and resources. But AI can't be bothered with the subject line. It'll just read the whole thing, watch the entire video, and listen to the song from the beginning to end, and then create its own subject line on demand. This is going to be unsettling in many ways. Creators often use the subject line to create something to lean against. The blog title often comes before the blog. And giving up authority over the subject line to a robot that might not understand is hard to do. And consumers have come to expect a handle for the next idea they're going to consume and often overtrust their instincts about what's worth their time or not, which is why stupid ideas like the flat belly diet or snakes on a plane come and go. How are we going to help an AI sort through all of the choices for what's next? Right. How are we going to help an AI sort? It's probably more efficient than clay tablets, but the transition is going to be one more way our culture changes as a result of the dominance of AI intermediaries like Perplexity. There will still be handles. It will be interesting to see what happens when they're written by a system we don't fully understand. Interesting. But time is racing. We're now at 16 minutes in. We haven't gotten to just say no. The point of just say no, summarized, condensed down subject line, that's the just say no, is Steve Jobs said, you get bombarded with good ideas all of the time. And you have to get in the habit of just saying, no, that's a great idea. We really should do it. We need to do it. We want to do it, but we just have to say no right now. Because right now we got to focus on this. So that's the just say no part of it is. Because if you try to say yes to everything, sounds familiar. If you try to say yes to everything, what's going to happen is it's going to be problems. Let's just put it that way. A lot of different types of problems. Think bait, so true. That's a tough one. Channeling your inner Nancy Reagan. Just say no. Right. Channel Nancy Reagan. Just say no. So this is in the things in your life. Have your goals, plans, vision. Here's what I need to focus on. And say no to everything else, not because it's not good, not because it might not be better, but this is what you're doing now. So you either have to say no to this, what you're doing now, and change, or say no to that so you can keep focused on this. So since we're kind of greedy piggy people, we want to say yes to everything. We want our cake and we want to eat it too. So today's theme of Nemo is, just say no. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You have to have one or the other. Darren Hardy's suggesting stick with the goals, themes, vision, message. Stick with what you're doing now, unless you find that it's not right. And with that, I gotta say and cut because I gotta get on the Peloton. Going to Vegas today. Going to the dentist to have one filling replaced, going to get my hair cut. And with that, that's the perfect segue. Cut, cut, cut.